The restaurant buzzed softly with laughter, clinking glasses, and the scent of roasted garlic and luxury. At a corner table sat Ethan Reed, 32, tall, impeccably dressed, and the youngest CEO in his company's history. People said he had everything: success, money, and power, but what no one knew was how empty his victories felt. He glanced at his watch for the third time. 10 minutes late. Another no-show, he muttered, signaling the waiter to take away the extra glass of wine. His assistant had set up this blind date, insisting he needed something real in his life. Ethan didn't believe in blind dates, or love for that matter. And then she walked in. Her dress was plain, not elegant, not trendy, just simple fabric faded at the edges. Her shoes were worn, her hair tied back in a messy ponytail that seemed to defy the polished atmosphere of the room. People turned to look, some with disapproval, others with pity. But when her eyes met his, big, brown, and filled with quiet courage, the world fell silent for Ethan. "Ethan Reed?" she asked softly, her voice trembling just a little. He stood, caught off guard. "Yes, and you must be Lily?" She nodded, clutching the strap of her faded bag. "I'm sorry I'm late. The bus broke down, and I had to walk." Something in her tone, unashamed but humble, made Ethan gesture for her to sit. "That's all right. I'm glad you made it." The first few minutes were awkward. She ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, a bowl of soup, while he quietly told the waiter to bring the house special for both of them. He noticed the tiny crack in her phone screen, the way her nails were short and clean but unpainted, and how her hands shook slightly when she reached for her glass. She wasn't pretending. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. "So," he said finally, "tell me about yourself." She smiled faintly. "There's not much to tell." "I doubt that." She hesitated, then said, "I'm a teacher, kindergarten. It's not much, but I love it. The kids, they remind me that life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful." Ethan found himself leaning forward. "You sound like someone who's found peace in chaos." Lily laughed softly. "Maybe. Or maybe I've just learned how to live with less and still be happy." Her honesty was disarming. He was used to people flattering him, faking laughter, or pretending to be confident in front of him. But she was different. Fragile yet strong, modest yet radiant. When the check arrived, she tried to reach for her purse. "No, please," she said quickly. "I can pay for my meal." Ethan smiled. "It's all right. I invited you." Her lips curved slightly. "I just don't want anyone to think I'm here for something else." He paused, realizing the weight of her words. She wasn't ashamed of her simplicity. She was proud of her dignity. As they walked out, rain began to fall. She laughed and held out her hands to feel it. "I love the rain," she said. "It makes everything clean again." Ethan, standing under the umbrella, just watched her, the way her face lit up under the raindrops, the way her eyes sparkled with life. He felt something stir inside him, something he hadn't felt in years. "Let me drop you home," he offered. She hesitated but nodded. Her home was a tiny apartment in an old building. She thanked him, but before she could turn away, he said, "Lily, would you have dinner with me again?" Her eyes widened. "Are you sure? I'm not exactly what?" he asked gently. She lowered her gaze. "Not exactly someone who belongs in your world." He stepped closer, his voice soft but firm. "Maybe my world is what needs someone like you." For a moment neither spoke. Then she smiled, the kind of smile that made the night warmer than it had any right to be. Weeks passed. They met again and again, sometimes for coffee, sometimes just to walk by the river. Ethan began to see life through her eyes. She took him to a children's art fair. He bought a crooked clay pot from one of her students and kept it on his desk at work. He learned that she volunteered at an orphanage on weekends, that she still sent money to her younger brother studying abroad, and that her father had passed away 2 years ago, leaving her with nothing but a dream, to open a small school for children who couldn't afford one. She never complained. She never asked for help. But one evening, Ethan saw her sitting outside a hospital, her face pale and worried. He rushed to her side. "Lily, what's wrong?" "My student," she whispered. "Little Mia. She needs surgery. Her family can't afford it." Without a word, Ethan made a call. Within hours, the bill was paid. When she found out, she cried, "You shouldn't have done that." He took her hand. "I didn't do it for you. I did it because it's what you would have done if you could." She looked up at him through tears, and for the first time, he saw the real strength behind her gentleness. Months later, Ethan surprised her. He drove her to an empty lot at the edge of the city. "What is this place?" she asked, confused. He handed her an envelope. Inside were blueprints for a small, colorful building with a playground, classrooms, and a sign that read, Lily's Little Stars Academy. Her hand flew to her mouth. "Ethan, I can't." "Yes, you can," he said softly. "You once told me that happiness isn't about having everything. It's about giving something that lasts. Let's build it together." Tears streamed down her face as she threw her arms around him. "You saw me when no one else did," she whispered. He smiled. "You showed me what was worth seeing." A year later, the school opened. Children ran across the courtyard, laughing, chasing bubbles, while Lily stood at the gate, the same woman who once arrived at a blind date with nothing but hope in her eyes. And beside her stood Ethan Reed, the man who thought he had everything, until he realized everything meant her. Moral, true love doesn't see wealth, status, or appearance. It sees the soul. Sometimes, the person who seems to have nothing is the one who teaches us the meaning of everything.